Hey folks, it's Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. And this is of the Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome film from 1985. A film that I know Siskel and Ebert were really big fans of. And George Miller did not direct this alone. He also had another guy, George Ogilvie, help him direct. I know a good friend of his passed away before this film, and he was grieving. Needed some help directing, so he got this other guy. I know I was reading a comment, I think in my friend Mike's OCP's review, that Mel Gibson thought this was the worst film or the worst project he had ever done, which I don't know if it's that, but Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, I'm very split on this movie. I really am. Just half of me, you're gonna be pissed, likes this more than this movie. Because this film, other than Mel Gibson, which Mel Gibson does a good job here, and the score, which the score is decent, it's not Brian May again, which is too bad. It's another guy, Maurice Jarre, which so I think the score is alright. But this one, the villain toe cutter was there, and there's a couple decent stunt scenes, and that's pretty much it. I count one hand. Here, the first 40 minutes I really enjoy. The middle sucks shit. Pig shit, as the pig shit in there, this fucking movie. And the ending is alright, but when you compare it to The Road Warrior, is a huge step down. And that's why I'm conflicted about it. Like, overall, I might say I like this more than the first film, because this one, again, the first 40 minutes I like more than this movie. And then the ending, it's alright, but it's just definitely not as good as The Road Warrior. But I'm conflicted about this movie, because I don't think this is the worst film of all time. I definitely don't agree with Gene Siskel, a series of film that gets better and better. I mean, Road Warrior is much better than this movie. Okay, to explain the first 40 minutes, when it's Mel Gibson going to Bartertown, the way Bartertown works, the environment. I love Thunderdome. I love the fight. To be honest, maybe if the film took place entirely in Thunderdome, sort of a future version of Bloodsport, Max having to do all this stuff, fight in Thunderdome and do other stuff in Bartertown and Thunderdome and try to survive. That, I think, would have been a more interesting movie. Because I love the way the film starts. I like the song by Tina Turner, "One for the Living." Dun, dun. Bruce Spence playing a different character, not the gyro captain in the second film. He's in a plane with his kid. He steals Max's shit. Max has to go to Bartertown. And I like some of the characters. There's this older guy here. See right there with the bald head. I don't mind him. I'm not sure if his character's name was the Collector, or I'm not sure what the character's name was. Then you have this guy who has this weird thing, has this white mask on top of his head, which I thought was interesting. Just this weird white mask over his head. Matt shows that he's a badass because he wants his stuff back. They take him to see Aunty Entity, Tina Turner, and Max has to prove himself. Before that, someone tries to fuck with him. He takes his shotgun, boom, blows up some feathers. Which I don't think was out of the case, because Max was a cop. So he's not just a full-blown murderer. So the fact that he used to be a cop, I'm fine that he didn't kill the guy. He's like, hey, just don't fuck with me. Just shoots the feathers off the guy's head with his shotgun. When they go to see Tina Turner, he just takes his tray, throws it at someone, hits them in the neck, dodges his arrow, throws the guy, hits the handle of this axe into a guy's nuts. And this guy's choking him, stops the guy from choking him. Shows that he's fast, he's capable, he's not a pussy. I like that. And Tina Turner says, hey, you want your stuff back? You gotta take care of somebody for us. You do. Master Blaster. And Mel Gibson goes, okay, what? And I didn't mind the fact that they use methane, which is pig shit. They use methane because it made sense to me. If you can't find gasoline, if this is the previous film, gasoline's supposed to be hard to come by. Either you don't use solar energy or methane, so I was fine with that. Plus, there's a couple of funny lines where someone says that, and Mel says, well, call what you like, smells like shit to me. And he goes to meet Master Blaster and finds out the weakness, which is noise, sound. Mel has his whistle, and they don't find the Thunderdome. And I even like the Master Blaster. I like the idea that it's a little guy on top of a big guy, the Master and the Blaster. I just like that idea. Like in the first, there's some interesting ideas in the first 40 minutes. The whole idea of Thunderdome. There's memorable lines of dialogue. 2 men enter, 1 man leave, or dying time is here. I like this memorable dialogue. And I like the Thunderdome fight. I like the dodging and trying to get to the whistle and using the chainsaw working, but then it doesn't work. Dodging, and it's an interesting way to have a fight. I would like to see more of these Thunderdome fights. I think that would have been cool instead of just one. So this is a start. You can build up on it. But he's getting the shit kicked out of him, then getting the whistle, using it, getting this big mallet, pounding the shit out of him, knocking his fucking helmet off, and then doesn't kill him because he finds out, oh my god, wait a minute, this guy is disabled. He's got the mind of a child. And I can buy with Max because he used to be a cop. He's not a stone cold killer. I can believe it with Max. Just watching the first movie and such. But like I was saying with the dialogue, you bust a deal, face the wheel. Bust a deal, face the wheel. So you have a fun fight scene in Thunderdome using these. A lot of movies you're like, oh, that's bullshit. They use wires. Here they really do use. Not quite wires, but bungee jumping and doing flips to avoid and try to get from A to B, and everyone is on top looking down below. It's an interesting way to have a fight. I think that's why a lot of people remember the Thunderdome scene, because it's such a unique fight. It's a unique setup. And that's why I like these ideas. I like the idea of Master Blaster. I don't mind Bartertown. Tina Turner was there. I mean, she's only in the first part of the film, and she disappears until the third act of the movie. So Tina Turner was there, not as good as Vernon Wells or Lord Humongous, but I'm just as fine with her as Toad Cutter in the first movie. I can't even remember much of Toad Cutter in the first movie, but I remember more of Tina Turner, so say that what you will. Even with a little bit of her overacting, but okay. I've seen much worse. Yeah, I mean, he's not going to kill a disabled guy. The Tina Turner and them, they kill Blaster, and you bust a deal, you face the wheel, and he gets I believe, the gulag, which I thought that's a labor camp, a gulag, but apparently here in the future, they get you on a horse, they tie you up, they put this weird face on you, and they let you ride off into the desert. And then this guy who Max met for a little bit, he sends his monkey with his water to try to get to Max. And even fucking Max's horse sinks into the damn sand and dies. And this is about 40-some minutes in the movie. I'm really enjoying it. I'm like, man, this movie's not that bad as I remember. And then Then these come into place. And you get the bullshit Lord of the Flies, more like Peter Pan bullshit. And this girl who is not much of an actress comes and gets Max, carries him back, and we have a bunch of these fucking kids who are annoying as piss. It makes you not want to have kids. It makes you literally want to get a syringe and squirt out, suck up every piece of sperm, so that whenever next you fuck someone, you will not have the possibility of having kids, because you don't want any of these kids. You're like, the whole town the village should be called abortion. I don't like these kids. I don't like them at all. When he wakes up, they just keep repeating what Max says in an annoying fashion, to the point that even Max himself says, "Shut up!" And I hate the fucking dialogue that they have. This game called Turbulence, when they're telling the story about pretty much a plane, Boeing 747 or whatever, that went down, and there was a captain that was going to go off to look for help, and he never came back. But a game called Turbulence, or use the tell. I'm like, are you calling it the tell because it's a thing with a rectangle shape, as in a television? But I hate the dialogue. There ain't no knowing, and we gotta find Tomorrowland, and whoever's got the juice, track with us. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Whoever's got the juice? OJ? Who's got OJ? Better track us in case he kills us? The juice is in steroids? And it's illegal, so you gotta track us? Oh, whoever's got the juice, inject it. Track us. So we can get the fuck out of this desert as soon as possible. Like Michael Johnson in the Olympics. Go as fast as fucking possible. Run like a bat out of hell. I believe that was with the runner's name, Michael Johnson, or fucked up. And this girl wants to leave, and Max comes up and actually punches the damn girl out. And then Max wakes up, and some leave, and Max has to go off after him with a couple other kids. The others stay. They save some from a sinkhole. I was actually surprised that actually one of the kids gets swallowed up. I thought that was kind of ballsy. And they're fucking around in Bartertown and doing some goofy shit. I mean, almost remind me as if it was going to be someone from the Goonies, but it works in the Goonies because the tone in the Goonies it's appropriate for that film. Well, you have a guy who swings and accidentally hits Max, whoops, and then goes and hits another guy. Sort of just... I think this film... You know, people complain Rambo 3 that has a sense of humor. Rambo 3, the humor works. It's only like a couple lines of dialogue. Some funny lines that Rambo says. You know, like, fuck 'em, or, this is your worst nightmare. I mean, it's not even humor, it's just some fun one-liners. But people bag on that. This has some goofy humor that's not appropriate for a Mad Max movie. I mean, there's subtle humor in Road Warrior, but here, I think the problem people have is that it felt like they became too lighthearted. I know this is a PG-13 movie, and it became a bit more too lighthearted with these kids, and I agree, that is a problem with the film. One leads to another. They get in this truck, or I guess kind of a train, just on a train track. And you get to the third action scene where the Tina Turner and these people are chasing them on this, who are on this sort of little train track. I like the idea that they're on a train track. But you have this one guy who had this Bugs Bunny doll and has these black around his eyes. He goes on hitting people with frying pans. Okay, whatever. Seems a bit goofy for this. And Max doesn't really do much. He pushes one car in front of a train, the train to crash it. Tina Turner's trying to grab this little guy that they got, and Max grabs the little guy and gets to the other train car after the pin's been pulled. One guy flies off a bridge. You do get some impressive stunt work. I gotta give credit. There's the guy who had the white mask on top of his head. He's hanging on, and it's one of those things that when it's on the train and then it goes like this and it's hanging, say the train's here and he's hanging like this. He's dodging all this stuff, and that's some good stunt work because he's really narrowly dodging some of this stuff. So I gotta give credit to that stunt work. He's hanging, he's just dodging, his legs almost hitting some of this stuff. I'm like, wow, that's some impressive stunt work. But then they get to this place, they stop, they follow this kid to Bruce Spence, to his plane, and they go up, go back. Shit, we don't have enough for a runway. Max goes, drives in front. And I like the stunt where I like the way this looks, where Max jumps off, flies the car right into another car. I like the way it just boom, jumps off and just pretty much the fucking car flies. Boom. I just like the way it looks, the way it's shot. I thought that was a nice stunt. And then for some reason, the others get away and Max is there, and Tina Turner lets him live. She says, "Ain't we a pair, Raggedy Man?" I'm not quite sure why she lets him live, because maybe because of respect. Honestly, it didn't bother me too much, but it was just a question. It's like, I wonder why she let him live. Maybe there's more to the Tina Turner character than we're supposed to think. Or because it's Tina Turner, they didn't want her to be an outright bad guy, like Vernon Wells. Which is the case. She's kind of a bad guy, but then not that bad. I mean, he did sort of kill one or some of your guys, but that's okay. And we a pair, Raggedy Man. So I didn't really get that. Why she let him go. I promise the people on the plane, they go to the city, and I'm like, so the people who stayed 30 minutes before, which seemed like the smart decision, are they now still there? Because then it cuts to sometime later, and there are more kids and babies, but I'm like, I don't recognize any of those people as the people who stayed. Are those people who stayed still there? Wow, they had this shit end of the deal. They were doing the smart thing, and sorry, we're going off. We're in the city now. Which honestly, it seems worse than the place they were at. Now that I think about it, they're in a city where there's 5 lights, but it looks like a shittier place, a dustier place than the place they were at. Where the place they were at before looked a lot nicer. So did they really get a good deal? It seemed like they got a shitty deal, and the people who stayed actually did get the better deal. Then the movie ends with, "We don't need another bullshit. We don't need another hero." See, that's what's frustrating about the film. I'm split on. This will probably be a review / rant, because I like the first 40 minutes. I like One for the Living by Tina Turner. To be honest, I like that song more than We Don't Need Another Hero. So it's weird. The first half has the better song for me. The song I like more, I should say. I like the Bartertown scenes. I like the setup. I like the ideas, the master blaster, the dialogue. Dying times here. 2 men into 1 man leave. The Thunderdome fight. The first 40 minutes. But then when it gets into this Peter Pan bullshit, we gotta lead these fucking kids. The kids are annoying. They're irritating. I hate their fucking dialogue. They fuck around in Bartertown when they get there, doing some goofy shit. About 3 feet away from slapstick. And then you get an ending that will just remind you of the Road Warrior, and it's okay. This is an ending that's just not as good as the Road Warrior. It is not as badass as Matt coming with a terrible shotgun shooting through a fucking windshield into someone's face. Max does like two things. He hits a car that smashes the one, and then the ending where he smashes his car. I like the stunt work though. That's why I don't absolutely hate it. I like the ideas on a train track. I like some bits of the stunt work. The stunt man who was on hanging on, barely avoiding all that stuff coming at him with his legs. Some good stunt work, but definitely not as good as the Road Warrior. I mean, that's the thing. This is a step down from the Road Warrior. So I can. Yeah, these kids are fucking annoying. Especially that woman right by Max. Did not like her. She's sort of the main character of these kids and didn't care for her acting. So yeah, I'm split on this film. I will admit, I mean, I'm sure people would be pissed, but you liked it more than this? Well, this, I was like, well, this, I'm like, the first half, oh, cool, this isn't that bad. Then the middle, it's pretty shitty. And then the finale, sort of the range of emotion, so, yeah. It's as if George Ogilvie is the guy who directed all the damn people with the fucking kids and the Peter Pan shit. I did not like these. I did not like them. I think that really is what hurt the film. If it was Matt staying in Thunderdome, staying in Bartertown, dealing with this stuff, and then at the end have him just by himself being chased and having to take out these people one by one, and you could do the thing where he plays chicken, he jumps out and hits one of them, and just have it take place in Thunderdome. Have him, he's forced to fight in these Thunderdome fights. He's forced to partake in not only Thunderdome fights, but maybe some other stuff with Thunderdome. Maybe some other games in Thunderdome. Some other tests of strength or courage or whatever the fuck is in Thunderdome. But he's forced to do it. Or he has to do it. And I don't mind his buddy that he meets. He's not given much, but the little buddy that he meets, I forget the actor's name. Later on in the film, while they're driving, he gets a big, looks like a harpoon right into his leg or something like that. I don't mind that actor, that guy. He didn't have much dialogue, but I didn't mind him. But yeah, pretty split on the film. I don't know how else to describe it. Got some good points, but when it goes beyond Thunderdome, it becomes beyond Blunderdome. It should not have gone beyond Thunderdome. It should have just been Mad Max Thunderdome. There you go. Not beyond Thunderdome, just Mad Max Thunderdome. Because that's what people... There's a reason why people remember Thunderdome the most. And then people go, what the fuck happened to Thunderdome? Exactly. Nothing should have happened after Thunderdome. Sure should have not gone beyond Thunderdome. God damn it. So anyway, this is my review rant of Thunderdome. It's not as pissed off as I know my friend Mike was. But he enjoys the first Mad Max more than me, so... But I think we both can agree the Road Warrior is still the best. Anyway, I don't know what more I can say about Thunderdome, but thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.